Shalom, this is Kabash Ban Yasharala, and before I get to today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true of the Hebrew tongue. Ka, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amaf. I want to give double honor to the apostles, the elders, GMS, who rule well and teach well. I want to give double honor to my elder as well, and here one Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim Four Comes of the Globe, pushing the truth and sincerity. With that being said, let's go into the topic of on the Lord feeding the appetite. So those of y'all Bashem Yahweh Shai have an appetite for righteousness. We desire the things of the Lord. We seek out the things pleasing to Him, and we do those things. And ultimately, we'll strive to obtain the things promised to us by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's what our appetite consists of. Like when somebody walk past you with a plate of good smelling food, that's how we desire the things of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Because the Lord gave us a spiritual mindset to be able to, the spiritual inclination to seek those things out. That's where that that hungering comes from. And by satisfying our spiritual appetite, we're building ourselves up, nourishing ourselves, and tending to the spirit just in general. And we're preserving ourselves in righteousness. We eat the roll, the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, that becomes part of us. Like eating a well-balanced meal. You'll be entire wanting nothing, like the scripture says. And we have that fulfillment through Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. The same way we get hungry according to our physical body, you feel your stomach growling, we have that same desire, those same spiritual senses to seek out things of the Lord. Oh, I need to read, I need to study, I need to do a lesson, or something like that, I need to reach out to a brother, whatever the case may be. The 2/3 of our people, they only have an appetite for carnality and wickedness. And they're more attracted to the things of this world than of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. So the things appealing to them could be things like money, clothes, just substance in general, some type of position of power. It's something carnal, it's something of this world, it's not of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. But these things are vain. So they have an eye. They don't have an eye for that plate, that good smelling food. They have they rather go to the corner store and get a bag of chips and this, that, and the third, junk food. And that's what they're building themselves up in vanity. They only have spiritual senses. They don't have that same hungering for righteousness as we do. And that appetite that they do possess, their carnal senses, is leading them to their judgment ultimately. So with that being said, this is Ecclesiasticus or Sirach, chapter 15, verse 17. Before man is life and death, and whether a man liketh him shall be given him. For the wisdom of the Lord is great, and he is mighty in power, and beholdeth all things. And his eyes are upon them that fear him, and he knoweth every work of man. He hath commanded no man to do wickedly, neither hath he given any man license to sin. So before man is life and death, what do you have an appetite for? You have an appetite for life, and if that's the case, you seek out things of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. You walk that path he paved for us. But if you have an appetite for death, you'll be given the things of this world, and you'll be led down that wide gate, broad way. Whether a man liketh shall be given him. So it's not about knowing that this is the right way to go. You have to be sincere in your work. You're not supposed to be doing this begrudgingly. So it doesn't matter if you know this to be the truth. You have to have an appetite for it. You got to hunger and thirst after your righteousness. Because it's easy, it's easy for you to get tempted and distracted by the things of this world. And these things will pull you off the path paid for, that path of righteousness paid for by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And the Lord sitting on the throne beholding all things, judging. He knows the thoughts of the righteous and the wicked alike. And with that being said, we're to make sure we're, constantly checking ourselves, recalibrating with the Lord, making sure we on point. Because, we're in a dark place. It's easy to get distracted, pulled, tempt, whatever the case may be. Make sure we're always tending to the spirit here in this place. The Lord commanded no man to do wickedly, so there's no excuse for our people to still be partaking in the things they do today with this light having entered the world. But it shows where their heart is, their mind, their la'ab. And it's in this world. Versus we were called out of this world and reintroduced to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Matthew 7:13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. So we're to enter in the straight gate. That straight gate, narrow way. Paid for us by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai again. Because the path that the Lord paid for us is going to lead us to life, salvation, everything we need on our journey. The scripture says man can't live by bread alone. That's 2/3 of our people. We don't have an appetite for only bread. We have an appetite for the word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And that has us an entire wanting nothing. Again. The 2/3 of our people have a appetite for things of the wide gate broad way. Because those things are easy to obtain. The things are easy to seek after. They don't want to sit at the table with Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. They want to sit at the table of this world. But they don't understand that they're being led to their destruction. The things that they're taking in, they're trusting in, building themselves up in, are going to fail them. It's like an actual body. The spiritual body could be compared to a physical body. Because the 2/3 of our people are attending to it. So they're malnourished spiritually. And that's why they're in the state they're in. They're destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And that spiritual destruction is going to culminate into a physical destruction. Matthew 5:6. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. So those seeking out the ways of righteousness, things of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, they're favored. The Lord showed them favor. Why? Because they're obedient children. They're doing the things they're supposed to. And the Lord's going to fill them up with that they seek us after, which is righteousness, true cleansing, true healing, He's going to fill them up with light to shine in this dark place. And don't you want to be filled with the things of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai? Filled with righteousness? So like you. But yeah, don't you want to be filled with righteousness? Imagine being only halfway full or this, that, and the third, man. You ain't got the fuel to make it all the way, And we're to be we're to consume, we're to eat until we're full, And another thing with that, we can't overdo it, Can't burn yourself out studying, trying to learn every precept, every breakdown, this, that, and the third, You eat until you full. So don't overdo it. Pace yourself. As you would at an actual table eating food, you're not major pain gobbling up the things of the Lord, But we are to indulge in the things of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai at the same time, meaning get lost in the sauce, so to speak, When we want to be filled up with righteousness. That's the point. Because 2/3 of our people, they full of the things of this world. And they gonna seek them things out to their detriment at that. They're spiritually gluttonous. Not physically, it's like you. Also, they're carnally gluttonous. Cause not everybody a bit back. But Isaiah 55:2. It's like Isaiah 55:1. Hold everyone that thirsted, come ye to the waters, and he that have no money, come ye, buy and eat. Yea, come buy wine and milk without money and without price. So like you. Verse 2. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread, and your labor for that which satisfieth not? Hearken diligently unto me, and eat ye that which is good, and let your soul delight itself in fatness. So, our people hungry and thirsty out here. They looking for a way to maintain, gain, whatever. You can do all that through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. But because our gain, our nourishment is spiritual, the 2/3 of our people don't see it. They don't see us being built up in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, growing strong in his spirit. They can only see, building themselves up in this world, nourishing themselves physically as means of survival. But we're to consume the bread of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because it's free and it's fulfilling. It'll fill you up with righteousness. Wherefore do ye spend money for that which is not bread? Our people pay tithes and offerings and go to these churches. They go take out student loans and go to these schools and do all these other things, but that's not satisfying their appetite. Because they go to school, then they got to go get a job to pay off that loan, that student loan. Then they got to, they still paying bills, and they're going down the wrong path. When they can strive with the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and not have to take on all those burdens. Yeah, we bear our cross, but the Lord said his yoke is easy, his burden is light. Our people would rather jump through all these hoops to make it in this place, and they will never be satisfied in that. They don't want to hearken diligently. It's like they don't want to hearken diligently until Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They want to continue to eat that junk food. They don't want to eat that which is good. They don't want to delight themselves in the fatness of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They don't want to delight themselves in the filth of this world, the corruption, pollute things of this world. John 15:1. I am the true vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch of me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. So, we want to be branches of Yahweh Shai. And the same way you tend to a plant, the same way we tend to a spirit. So we're to bear fruit of the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Meaning we're showing forth our works. Because that's how the Lord increases us, Like, kids, when as an infant, they desire milk from their mother. And that's when we were knowing the truth. We desired the milk of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And growing in the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, we started growing teeth, we started walking, did that, and the third, we needed more nutrients. So we moved on from milk to meat. So that's the Lord purging us, building us up in the spirit, increasing our appetite for righteousness. And, we're to continue down this path so we can take in even more of the things of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So we can bring forth even more works. And that's what we want to do. We don't just want our wisdom, knowledge, understanding to increase. We want our works to increase. You want your lessons to be more edifying. We don't want to get complacent. We don't want to jog in place, so to speak. We're to strive for truth to the death. Because we're to manifest into the elect. And that's the sealing that the Lord's waiting for. That number to be fulfilled. And 2/3 of our people don't want to bear fruit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. They want to bear fruits of this world. Because that's where their faith is in, ultimately. That's pretty much it. That's where their faith is, in this world. So the Lord's going to leave them in it and give them the judgment for that. Zechariah 13:8, and it shall come to pass that in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but a third part shall be left therein. So the 2/3 of our people are going to they've been cut off from the Lord, and now they're part of the spiritually unalived. And the Lord going to keep them there until they're physically unalive through judgment. They're already part of the congregation of the dead. But they have judgment coming that they're gonna have to go through a physical fire. The Lord's putting us through a spiritual. Zechariah 13:9, and I'll bring the third part through the fire. It will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them, and I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power. So the Lord bringing us through a spiritual fire. He's purging us through adversity. Cleansing us through His word. Purifying our minds. He refining us as silver is tried and as gold is tried. And through the triangle of our faith, we're building ourselves up in the Lord so we can be even more faithful in Him. He increases us in faith also. The more you tend to the Spirit, that's us getting stronger. We get stronger in the wisdom, the faith, the mysteries. That's what I mean when I say we're nourishing ourselves, taking root in the Lord, digging our roots in that foundation of the Lord. And that's our refining. The 2/3 are like wild plants just being left as is. They're going to be cut down, plucked up, however you want to put it, when that time comes. John 3:19, and this is the condemnation, that light is coming to the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. But he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh. So the condemnation of the 2/3 of our people is that light came into this world, We don't have to sit here and eat slop doctrine, so to speak, that we don't have to eat slave food no more, so to speak, man. We can sit at the table with the Lord, eat steak and potatoes, or whatever it is, eat the roll of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, whatever sounds good to you. But we sitting at the table of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. That's the point. The 2/3 of our people, they don't want to get up from the table of this world because they put those coverings on and they rather trust in those things. They still have an appetite for the things of this world. They've been cut off completely from the Lord. They don't have that spiritual mindset to seek Him out in truth and sincerity. They might be sincere, but it's not the spirit of truth. So the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai isn't dealing with them. And that's why we're in this world and not of it. And they see us shining that light. They hate us too, because we're of it. For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light, neither cometh to the light, lest his deeds should be reproved. The 2/3 of our people don't have an appetite, a desire for the things of the Lord, because it's contrary to the mindset that they have. They don't want to eat their veggies. They want to get straight to dessert. That's why they go around talking about they saved, they blessed, and all these things, when the Lord not even dealing with them. But John 3:21, but he that doeth truth cometh to the light, that his deeds may be made manifest, that they are wrought in Yahweh. So us, we smelled the plate, we smelled that stuff coming from the table of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. We came and inquired, sat down, got some, got comfortable. And the Lord started dealing with us as friends, and we said, well, he said we're His friends as long as we do whatever He commands of us. And so we do the things pleasing to the Lord to show ourselves to be friends of Him. And that's going to culminate into a salvation, forgiveness of sins, protection, true rest, true comfort. Isaiah 30:8. Now go, write it before them in a table, and note it in a book, that it may be for the time to come forever and ever, that this is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of Yahweh, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets, prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. That's what our people want. They want to hear lies, deceits, that feel good doctrine. They want to see the pastor swinging his sweat rag and stuttering and some other theatrics they got going on. Because that's what they go to see. They want to see the choir sing, the praise dancers. They want to see their child up there reading plays, in the plays, and just the theatrics. They don't want to hear the true prophecies, the true things of the Lord. And it shows that their minds is fixated on following vanity. And that's ultimately what they have appetite for, following vanity. Because we on the highways and byways speaking the true words of Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear right things. And so, because they're rejecting the Lord's going to reject them. It's going to be too late to get a spot at the table. Come Jacob's trouble. The Lord's going to judge 2/3 of our people for their rebellion. The Lord said it's dinner time. He calling his children to come eat. 2/3 of our people still want to play the game. And that's why in that day they're going to have to go into them that buy and sell wine. And that still won't do them any good. As it was in the days of Noah, man. They want to go to the cookout and eat crab legs and all that. Yeah, they want to eat abominable things. But us, we in the mindset of, especially with Passover coming up, we in the mindset of getting out this place. Because our food is spiritual. We're consuming the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. I'm going to get one more precept and I'm going to get that. I don't know how I did this lesson and didn't get it. Or write it down at least. Romans 1:28. And even as they did not like to retain Yahweh in their knowledge, Yahweh gave them over to a reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of Yahweh, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, who, knowing the judgment of Yahweh, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. So the 2/3 of our people, they don't want to retain Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai in their mind. They don't want to, they don't want to eat green eggs and ham, so to speak. If you know the Dr. Seuss story, they constantly, continuously rejecting the word of the Lord. But if they tried it, they might like it. But they refuse it, So the Lord put them in that reprobate mindset to do things not convenient to them. I should have got the definition of reprobate, so Salakia on that. But these people, the things that our people are eating, it's not convenient for them in the long run, You trying to fill up on a bag of Doritos, the Lord done cooked dinner. Our people are filling themselves up with abominable things. I'm not going to go through the list again, but unrighteousness being the main substance, which leads to all the other stuff. And that's just what it is. Now people know these things aren't good for them. You hear them in the rap songs, I hope God forgive me, da-da-da, and all these things. But, they take pleasure in, this world exalts people like that. Our people know it's wrong to be out here unaliving people, but it's a rapper out here unaliving people, they gonna get behind him. They gonna listen to him. He get locked up, they gonna make Free My Dog shirts and all these things. They exalt these people to the heavens. But us, they want us to go sit in the corner and be quiet. They cast us out of their sight. Because we telling them the judgment that they have coming, lest they repent. But they don't want to do. They don't want to do it. And the 2/3 of our people, ultimately, they're showing themselves worthy of that judgment. Let's see if I can find this eat the roll real quick. We're going to end it off with that one. Ezekiel 3. Con. Ezekiel 3:1. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest, eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll. And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then I did eat, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel, and speak with my words unto them. So we consume the role of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. We taking his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and it becomes a part of us. The Lord commanded us to do so. And once that role becomes a part of us, we go and speak those same words to our people. Go back to that Isaiah 55. Everyone that thirsteth, come ye to the waters. Buy this free bread, basically. All you have to do is pay attention. Take heed to the words being spoken, the warnings of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. And these words are sweet in our mouth, This ain't like we just eating Brussels sprouts and spinach and, bitter herbs. No, man. The word of Yahweh Shemiah Shai is sweet to those who have appetite for it. I'll say that. Yeah, you just got to have an appetite for it. 2/3 of our people don't. So they don't want to consume the things of the Lord. But that's pretty much it. So y'all rock the Zod, let's was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say shalom.